Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m., stared at the ceiling and wondered, why can't I fall back asleep? If you're middle-aged or older, sorry, you're not alone. More than half of Americans aged 60 and older are experiencing this condition, insomnia in the middle of the night, waking up and not being able to get back to a deep sleep. And the worst part? It's not because of old age, but because of 3 mistakes that many people make every night before 4 a.m., seemingly harmless, but causing insomnia to last longer and become more serious. In today's video, I'll outline 3 things you should never do when you wake up in the middle of the night, especially before 4 a.m., along with scientific explanations and simple, practical solutions. These little things could be the key to getting a full night's sleep for you or an older loved one. No sleeping pills, no stress, no fatigue. 1. Never check the clock or your phone. The first instinct many people have when they wake up in the middle of the night is to glance at the clock. It's a harmless reflex. You just want to know what time it is, how many hours of sleep you have left, or how much longer you can afford to stay awake. But this seemingly harmless habit is a major disruptor to your sleep cycle. When you check the clock in the middle of the night, you're unintentionally triggering your brain to wake up more fully. According to a study conducted by the Sleep Research Center at the University of Colorado, even a brief glance at the clock activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational thought and planning. This is a problem because once the prefrontal cortex is activated, you begin to think about the time. If it's 2:30 a.m., I have only a couple of hours left before my alarm goes off. This leads to feelings of stress, anxiety, and a sense of urgency to fall back asleep, which actually makes sleep even more elusive. For older adults, this becomes especially problematic. As we age, our production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle, decreases naturally. So when we're exposed to light, even from a clock or a phone screen, it can have a much greater impact. In fact, the light emitted from our phones and clocks is a type of blue light, which has been shown to reduce melatonin production and delay the onset of sleep. Scientific explanation. Blue light exposure inhibits melatonin production by affecting the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, a part of the brain responsible for controlling the circadian rhythm. Studies conducted at Harvard University have found that even small doses of blue light, as little as 10 minutes, before bedtime can delay melatonin secretion by more than an hour. What to do instead? Turn your clock around or place it out of sight. Keep your phone in another room, or at least on Do Not Disturb mode. If you need to check the time, do it without looking directly at your clock. The key to falling back asleep lies in eliminating distractions, especially ones that bring unnecessary stress. 2. Don't lie still in bed if you can't fall back asleep after 20 minutes. A mistake many of us make is to simply lie there, wide awake, hoping that sleep will magically return. Unfortunately, this is not the solution, and in fact, it's quite the opposite. The longer you lie in bed awake, the more your mind becomes conditioned to associate your bed with restlessness, which only reinforces insomnia. Studies show that this behavior can lead to conditioned arousal, a psychological pattern where your brain links your bed with frustration. This means that the more time you spend in bed while awake, the harder it becomes to fall asleep in the future. The American Psychological Association, APA, emphasizes that stimulus control therapy is one of the most effective treatments for insomnia, which includes getting out of bed if you haven't fallen asleep within 20 minutes. In fact, your bed should only be used for sleep and intimacy. If you find yourself awake for prolonged periods, your brain begins to perceive the bed as a space for worrying, which further disrupts your sleep-wake cycle. Scientific explanation. This response is linked to classical conditioning. When your brain repeatedly associates the bed with wakefulness and stress, the bed becomes a signal to stay awake rather than sleep. This conditioning can worsen insomnia over time, especially if you're lying still, anxious about your inability to sleep. What to do instead? If you haven't fallen asleep after 20 minutes, get out of bed. Go to another room and engage in a relaxing, non-stimulating activity like reading a book, practicing deep breathing, or listening to calm music. Avoid electronic devices, including phones and tablets, as they can further disrupt your sleep due to blue light exposure. By breaking the negative cycle of associating your bed with wakefulness, you give your brain the opportunity to relearn that your bed is a place of rest, not anxiety. 3. Never eat or drink stimulating substances in the middle of the night. Many people reach for a snack or a drink when they wake up in the night, thinking it might help them get back to sleep. But in reality, eating or drinking certain substances, such as caffeine, sugar, or alcohol, can severely disrupt sleep and worsen insomnia. Let's start with caffeine. The stimulant effects of caffeine are well known, but what many people don't realize is that caffeine's effects linger long after consumption. According to the Johns Hopkins Sleep Disorders Center, caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 8 hours, meaning if you consume coffee, tea, or soda in the late afternoon or evening, it can stay in your system until midnight or later. And since older adults tend to metabolize caffeine more slowly, the effects can be even more pronounced. Sugar is another culprit. When you consume sugary snacks or drinks at night, your blood sugar levels spike and crash, leading to feelings of restlessness and disrupted sleep. While sugar may give you an initial burst of energy, it eventually causes a sugar crash that can make you feel jittery or unsettled, preventing you from falling back asleep. And then there's alcohol. Many people turn to alcohol to help them relax or fall asleep, but while it may initially make you feel drowsy, alcohol disrupts REM sleep, which is the most restorative phase of sleep. National Institutes of Health, NIH, studies have shown that alcohol decreases the amount of time spent in REM sleep, leading to a lower quality of sleep overall. As a result, you may wake up feeling more tired and groggy. Scientific explanation. The body metabolizes caffeine and alcohol differently as we age. Caffeine, a central nervous system stimulant, increases heart rate and makes the body feel more alert, preventing relaxation. Alcohol, while initially sedative, causes sleep fragmentation by interfering with deep sleep cycles and reducing overall sleep efficiency. What to do instead? If you feel hungry or thirsty in the middle of the night, opt for light snacks like banana slices, almonds, or a small glass of warm milk. These contain natural sleep-promoting nutrients, such as tryptophan and melatonin. Avoid caffeine in the afternoon and evening, including chocolate. Drink water or herbal teas, like chamomile or valerian root, to help relax without stimulating your nervous system. Don't ignore frequent night wakings, it could be a health problem. Finally, it's essential to recognize that frequent awakenings during the night are not always due to poor sleep habits. Sometimes, they are a sign of underlying health conditions that need to be addressed. One of the most common causes of interrupted sleep in older adults is sleep apnea, a condition where breathing stops and starts during sleep. According to the National Sleep Foundation, sleep apnea affects about 22 million Americans, with many of them being unaware of it. Obstructive sleep apnea occurs when the muscles in the throat relax during sleep, blocking the airway and causing frequent waking episodes. If you wake up frequently, feel short of breath, or snore heavily, sleep apnea could be the cause. Other medical conditions that interfere with sleep include chronic pain, bladder problems, e.g., frequent urination, and restless leg syndrome. Mental health issues such as depression or anxiety can also manifest as sleep disturbances. Additionally, medications prescribed for various conditions can have side effects that affect sleep quality. What to do? Keep a sleep diary to track when you wake up, how long you're awake, and any potential triggers for your insomnia. If your sleep disruptions are frequent and persistent, consult a healthcare provider to rule out medical conditions such as sleep apnea, chronic pain, or anxiety. Consider seeing a sleep specialist if your insomnia continues despite making lifestyle adjustments. And as we age, quality sleep becomes even more crucial. Insomnia in older adults is a serious issue that should not be dismissed as just part of getting older. By identifying and correcting habits that disrupt your sleep, like checking the clock, lying awake in bed, or eating stimulants, you can improve your quality of sleep and reclaim your health. And most importantly, don't ignore the signs of a deeper problem. If you are waking up frequently or struggling with sleep despite trying everything, reach out to your doctor. Your sleep is worth the attention. Sleep is the foundation of a healthy mind and body. Don't settle for less. You deserve to rest, recover, and wake up feeling refreshed, no matter your age. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share it to spread it to those around you, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive the latest videos. Also, feel free to leave your comments and share your experiences so we can exchange ideas and discuss them together. Likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions give me the motivation to create the most engaging videos for you. See you in the next video.